notes na kailangan natin. And ano naman, I believe most of the exam problems naman ay pwede nyo ma-derive from simply reading yung ating mga study guide, particularly yung mga conceptual na questions. We can start. And again, ang topic na ano natin, briefly i-cover before bumalik tayo dun sa exam review is yung power transmission. So sa power transmission, this has to do with engine or motors. Typically kasi sila yung or motors, typically kasi sila yung nagta-transfer ng motion to the shaft. So motion to the shaft. And speaking of motion, meron tayong dalawa. Meron tayong tinatawag na angular momentum. We need to define yung angular momentum. So ito yung rate of spin. So meron tayong rate of spin or angular velocity. Ito yung gusto nating ma-identify, angular velocity. So paano natin makukuha yung angular velocity? If, for example, given na in terms of RPM, ito, yung angular velocity natin will simply be, so rotations per minute. Pero ang kailangan for angular velocity ay rads per second. So rads per second. We can say na 1 revolution is equals to 2 pi. Then, yung per minute, ibig sabihin nun is 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. And we can make the necessary conversion para ma-convert natin yung RPM to rads per second by, if sinabi na RPM to, ibig sabihin lang is how many 2 pi's yung na-accomplish within 1 minute. And speaking of 1 minute, and that will be 60 seconds. So ito yung magiging angular velocity natin if in case na given in terms of RPM, ko-convert natin siya to rads per second. So meron kang, it has something to do with angular momentum. Na-mention ko na yung unang aspect ng power dun sa angular momentum na to. Yung next is yung torque or yung torsion. So very distinct ito. Kasi pwedeng zero yung torque, pero merong angular velocity. Alam naman natin na pwede mong sabihin na dynamic equilibrium siya, na nagro-rotate siya, pero hindi na nag-i-increase yung angular velocity mo or nagdi-decrease yung angular velocity natin. So yung power has something to do with the torque that was being applied. So ibig sabihin lang noon ay with all of the external forces, siguro that was being experienced by the wheels or by the shaft that is causing angular acceleration, kailangan i-counter to ni torsion para ma-maintain yung angular velocity. So with all that being said, all we need to do is to determine yung T and ma-determine din yung W. And ultimately, yung power that was being transferred to the shaft will simply be equal to torque times omega. So ito lang yung magiging extra natin. We need to identify, so for such type of problem, kailangan din nating ma-identify kung ano yung angular velocity. And for mechanical engineering perspective, to imbue some bit of mechanical engineering perspective, so pagdating sa motor, napapansin natin na rating ng power yung binibigay. So rating of power. So parang meron kang palaging ina-identify na tinatawag na top speed, di ba? Tapos meron ka pang max torque. Maximum torque. So paano natin ma-identify itong mga to? So halimbawa is ano bang magandang problem? Kadalasan ng binibigay na problem dito ay e-bike. So ito yung mga favorite nating topic. So e-bike. Assume natin na yung ating e-bike ay merong parang yung wheel natin, wheel diameter. So diameter ng wheel natin ay kailangan in ilan ba siya in meter. So kung 20" siya, yung diameter ng ating wheel ay pwedeng sabihin na 20 50 centimeter yung diameter ng ating wheel or half a meter. Then, pwede rin natin sabihin na max speed. So, binigay sa atin ay max speed na equal, ano ba ang magandang problem for this? So, bigyan natin ng ganitong perspective. So, let's try to be illustrative on this. We have here yung wheel ng bike. Yung wheel ng bike right there. And kailangan ay ma-push niya. So mayroong bike dyan going up the hill. Bigay natin na 30 degrees ito. Then, gatuin lang natin. So ito yung ating bike. Admit lang tayo ng tao into the meeting. So good afternoon. So yan yung ating bike. Say 50 kilograms yung mass. 50 kilograms yung mass ng bike pati ng rider natin. Assume natin 50 kilograms yung mass ng bike at saka ng rider natin. Tapos binigay natin na 50 centimeter yung ating wheel. Then sinabi na itong biker na to maintains a speed of so 20 kilometers per hour. Kailangan i-round up natin into some value. So approximately 5 meters per second. So halimbawa naglalakbay siya at 5 meters per second at a 30-degree incline. So 5 meters per second yung pag-travel ng siklista over a 30-degree incline. Tapos ang kinikerry niya na weight ay 50 kilograms. Tapos yung wheel natin ay 50 centimeters yung diameter. And ano yung magiging, so ang question is ano yung power output. Para ma-maintain mo na itong 50 kilograms na to has to go 5 meters per second up the hill. So paano natin siya magagawa? Kailangan nating i-identify una ano yung mga forces. Assume natin na isang body to, yung ating siklista. Assume natin na ito na naman, ES101 na naman sa amin. Nagpa-flashback na naman. So meron tayong gravity right here. Tapos meron tayong kailangan na ma-maintain na force dito. Then kailangan din natin yung so meron kang gravity, meron kang force, so kailangan ma-counteract lahat ito para nag-move forward siya by 5 meters per second. Ma-maintain na 5 meters per second yung velocity. So dapat in equilibrium itong mga ito. So ito yung dapat na equilibrium natin. So ito. So meron kang normal force, wala nang wala nang friction. Tapos meron kang target na forward na acceleration. So ito ay siguro lagay natin na h, yung along the horizontal. Tapos ito yung weight natin. So yung weight is 50 times 9.81. Pwede natin sabihin na ganyan. Or, siguro, para mas mabilis ng konti, try natin na i-rotate ito. So, ito yung natutunan natin from our ES101 days, na i-rotate ito such that si normal force ay vertical, si horizontal force ay horizontal. So pag sinetap natin, summation of forces along X must be equal to 0. The summation of forces along Y dito ay dapat equal to 0. So meron kang normal force na upwards. Tapos meron kang W cosine of 30. So hindi ko na minention yung details dito para hindi na kayo problema. So meron kang normal force diyan, tapos meron kang horizontal force minus W sine 30. So yung sine ng 30 ay 1/2. So yung H natin must be 1/2 nung weight. Ito yung na-determine natin. And if dinivide natin to, yung kailangan mong ma-maintain na acceleration dito must be equal to kalahati ng acceleration due to gravity. So kalahati ng 9.81. So 4.905 meter per second square. Eh, ang acceleration na yan, if we zoom in, yun yung acceleration na dapat nandito sa ating wheels. Itong nasa ating wheel. Right here. So, yung acceleration na ito. And, ultimately, kailangan lang natin i-take note na if i-assume natin na mako-concentrate sa isang wheel, so yung 1/2 ng weight, yung force na nandito. Tapos may moment arm ka na radius right here, makukuha mo yung torque. So makukuha mo yung torque na R cross 1/2 W. So kapag ginawa natin yan, meron tayo, radius. Ni radius daw ay diameter 50 centimeters. So gawin natin na in radius. So kalahati noon is 0.25. Tapos meron pa tayong yung 1/2 ng weight natin is 925 tapos 90.81. So computing all of this, meron tayong 0.25 times 25 times 9.81, meron tayong 61.31 Newton meters na torque. So meron tayong 61.31 Newton meters na torque. So ito ay separate. So nakuha natin yung torque. Inassume lang natin dito na yung force na magpo-propel dun sa bike upwards are concentrated on the rear wheel kung nasan yung motor natin. Tapos, if na-compute na natin tong torque, kailangan din natin computein yung magiging angular velocity para ma-maintain na 5 meters per second siya. And yung 5 meters per second na ito is yung tangential na velocity. Balikan natin to. So dapat yung 5 meters per second dito is yung tangential velocity. So kailangan lang natin i-convert yung tangential velocity to angular velocity. So yung angular velocity natin will simply be 5 meters per second, yung velocity natin divided by yung radius. Yung radius again is 0.025 meters. So we have 20 rads per second na velocity. And now to get yung power na output, meron tayong torque, meron tayong omega, i-substitute lang natin yung bawat isa. So meron tayong 60.31 Newton meters. Tapos meron tayong 20 rads per second. So itong mga ito, so 60.31 plus 20, meron kang, laki, 1226.2 watts. Ito yung kailangan na power output na ilagay mo sa pedal or kung naka-e-bike tayo, ito dapat yung magiging output sa motor para ma-maintain na 5 meters per second up a 30-degree incline yung takbo ng bike mo, which overall carries a total weight of 50 kilograms. Kung ang motor mo ay 350 watts, for sure sunog yung motor mo rito. So ganun natin na-check siya. So any questions doon? So bakit ulit 4.91 meters per second? So For clarification lang po, saan nanggaling yung 1/2 W? Ito yung kailangan ng acceleration ng mass mo para ma-counter yung gravity, yung pag-pull down ng gravity. So kung wala kang acceleration na i-impart, horizontal acceleration in particular, mag-slow down, mag-decelerate lang siya. So balikan natin yung ating figure. Sige. So bakit daw 4.91 meters per second? 4.905 meters per second yung kinalabasan. So ito yung kailangan na maging acceleration. Siguro balikan natin yung notion na if nagsama ko ng forces along x, dapat ito ay mass times acceleration along the x. So itong in-evaluate natin to is yung h, yung horizontal na force. Yung horizontal na force. Parang ito yung inertial force mo to maintain na dapat na in equilibrium yung due to the weight, tapos yung ni-impart mo na acceleration on your bike. So, ano yung nandito sa summation of forces along x? Yung meron lang dito is yung weight dragging down. So, sine of 30, tapos meron tayong mass times yung kailangan na acceleration along x, which we can quantify as yung total force, horizontal force that is horizontal force on the wheels, yung kailangan na horizontal force on the wheel in particular, para ma-maintain mo na in equilibrium. Kasi if hindi mo in-apply, or we can rephrase this pala. Let me just rephrase that. Sige. Summation of forces along x ay dapat equal to 0. So sabihin natin na ito yung x natin. So meron kang gravity pulling you down. So meron kang sine 30 dito. Tapos kailangan mo ng horizontal force para ma-maintain in equilibrium, or else kapag inano natin to, summation of forces is equals to mass times acceleration along x. So ito yung full na dynamic equation natin. So tanggalin natin, hindi siya in static equilibrium. Meaning if mas malaki ito kumpara dito, this will say na nagsuslow down yung ating bike. If mas malaki ito, mas malaki say ito kumpara dito, alam natin na as a result, nag-accelerate yung bike. Nag-i-increase yung velocity niya over time. Pero if sinabi natin na equal yung dalawa, if these are two are equal, then constant speed. So zero yung acceleration, therefore constant speed ng ating bike. So kaya lumabas na 1/2 kasi yung sine of 30 is equals to 1/2. Sine of 30 is equals to 1/2. So knowing those relationship right there, makukuha mo yung relationship ng kailangan mo na horizontal force na dapat ina-apply ng wheel mo to maintain yung equilibrium. Malinaw ba? Okay. Yun. So ganoon. So kung siklista ka, ganito nako-compute yung power output. So nakikita mo yung Tour de France, kung alam mo yung yung gradient ng incline natin, tapos yung mass nung yung mass nung nagpapadyak. Tapos halimbawa ay purely horizontal lang, say purely horizontal lang yung siklista natin. Tapos alam mo yung weight nung bike niya. So alam mo yung weight ng bike, tapos alam mo rin yung velocity, halimbawa, tapos binigyan ka ng coefficient of drag para makuha mo yung drag force. So ito yung magiging drag force mo. So yun yung kailangan na ma-counteract ng siklista. So halimbawa nag-accelerate siya, so alam mo na mas malaki yung horizontal force na binibigay ng siklista against nun sa wind. So with that said, mako-compute mo yung power output. So ganito nako-compute yung power output. So that is one example nung sa torque. Pwede rin naman na limited lang sa shaft na merong given na rate of spin yung shaft mo, tapos meron ding torsion na independent dun sa rate of spin. Na halimbawa, ito yung mga torque, internal torque, external torque na nararanasan due to the gears. So pwedeng i-provide yan. Bino-provide naman yung torque. Kailangan mo lang ma-compute ngayon yung magiging angle of twist. Yung angle of twist ay strangely enough, independent siya dun sa spinning. Yung angle of twist kasi is within the shaft itself. Parang relative to the shaft. Yung perspective ng shaft kahit umiikot-ikot yan. Yung spin, yung buong frame of reference kasi, yung umiikot. So, independent, again, dito, independent, yung angle of twist, hindi siya related to rate of spin. Ito yung isa nating kailangan tandaan. So, wag na wag niyong wag nating i-mistake itong dalawang ito. So, yung power output will simply be, again, yung dahil sa internal forces, tapos yung dahil dun sa spin niya. So, ito yung power output within a shaft. Questions? So, gets natin si power transmission? Thumbs up naman dyan. Kung may question, raise lang ng hand or mag-type lang sa chat, okay lang naman. Okay na okay. Di ba? Parang sabi ng mga instructor kasi madali naman yung power transmission eh. Isama na natin sa exam. Parang yun yung naging rationale nun. Kaya gulat na lang tayo. May lumabas na power transmission na sa exam. So, yun. For sure, mayroong power transmission dun sa problem natin. So, wag natin kalimutan, T times omega. Torque times angular velocity. That's your only expression for power transmission. So, mabalik tayo sa torque. Kasi crucial yung torque, di ba? Crucial yung torque natin. So, very crucial yung ating torque. Again, sa torque, kailangan nating makagawa palagi ng tinatawag na internal torque diagram. Pero hindi siya yung first step. So, yung pagiging crucial lang. Siyempre, una is FBD. Kailangan natin magawa yung FBD para makita natin yung mga nag-interact na external forces with the acting upon your shaft. So, external torque acting upon your shaft. Tapos, after mong ma-draw yung FBD, you lay down the equilibrium equations. You lay down the equilibrium equation. So yung equilibrium equation natin, summation of torque is equals to 0. So again, ang assumption natin is, pwede kang mag-set up ng assumption dito if going to the right, sabihin mo na positive. Pwedeng ganyan. Or going upwards, pwede mong i-assume na yung torque vector mo na going upwards ay positive, going downwards ay negative. Never na mababali ito into its x, y, or z na component. So ito ay always along the axial. Always along the axial of the shaft. So pag sinabi mo na axial, along the length. along the length na axis. So meron tayong along the length na axis. So pag nagawa mo yung equilibrium equations, you'll be getting yung reaction forces. So makukomplete reaction torque reactions rather. So kapag kumpleto na yung external forces mo, you can then use Newton's third law. So you section different segments. Particularly dun sa mga segments na nag-iiba na yung set ng external forces. And by doing so, may na-identify tayo na tinatawag na internal torque diagram. So kung meron tayong internal torque diagram, we can then get yung shear stresses. So yung shear stresses, very straightforward. Tau is equals to TC over J. So meron tayong tau is equals to TC over J. Yung T, yung internal torque. So take note, hindi siya yung external torque. This is yung internal torque. At that segment, yung kung saan ka nag-cut. Kung saan ka nag-cut, yun yung ine-evaluate mo na shear stresses. Dahil kung saan ka nag-cut, meron ka na-expose na internal torque and yun yung ipang re-relate mo sa internal shear stresses na nararanasan. So meron kang C, ito yung radial distance from the center of rotation. We know for sure na linearly nag-i-increase as you increase yung C. So lumalayo ka from the center of rotation, ay nag-i-increase din yung iyong shear stresses. Tapos finally, yung J, yung ating polar moment of inertia. Yung polar moment of inertia natin, take note, ay palaging r squared dA. Ito ay equal to x squared dA and plus y squared dA. So these are your moments of inertia. And this is your polar moment of inertia. So meron tayong polar moment of inertia. So meron kang J na kakailanganin mo for that. So TC over J. So remember na always circular cross-sections lang yung magiging coverage dito. This only applies for circular cross-sections. So ang huwag natin kakalimutan, so J is equals to pi over 2r raised to 4. Na-recall na natin kung paano siya na-derive. And if in case na hollow yung section natin, kadalasan ginagawa ito kasi very minimal lang yung magiging decrease sa performance pero nakatipid sa material. So meron kang pi over 2, tapos r outer raised to 4. So meron kang in-identify na tinatawag na outer radius, mina-minus mo lang siya sa tinatawag na inner radius. R sub I raised to 4. So ito lang yung dalawang formula na kailangan nating tandaan for shear stresses. We can then get yung angle of twist. And take note, itong angle of twist na to is very related dun sa ating torque diagram. Kasi if nilista natin siya, it will kinda look like this, na meron kang X start, ibig sabihin kung saan, ano yung segment na ina-evaluate mo, tapos X end. Hanggang saan natatapos yung segment na ina-evaluate mo. Tapos ina-identify natin ano yung internal torque natin, ano yung polar moment of inertia niya, that segment, particular. So dapat very distinct na dun sa isang X start, isang X end natin ay, mag-admit lang tayo. So, dapat pag nagsaselect ka ng X start and X end, dapat constant yung T, constant yung J, constant yung G, yung iyong modulus of rigidity. So, tatandaan natin, pag natin kakalimutan to. So, halimbawa, binigyan lang tayo ng Poisson's ratio at saka ng elastic modulus. You can derive kung ano yung value ng G. This will be equal to 6. So, yung nu is yung Poisson's ratio. And siguro magandang dagdagan, if meron akong X start and meron akong X end, yung difference lang ng dalawa is yung magiging L natin. Tapos meron ka mako-compute na angle of twist. So ito ay palagi nanggagaling sa ating torque diagram. So halimbawa, binigyan tayo ng ganitong torque diagram. So yung torque diagram natin must start at 0 and end with 0. So sample lang na merong 50, tumaas by 50, then as you go on, merong kang sige, lagay-lagay muna tayo. Ito ay naging 40, negative 40. Then after some distance, tumaas ulit, naging 100. Then after some distance, bumaba ulit. Siguro mga negative 70. Then after some distance, umangat ulit. So dapat yung torque diagram mo starts at 0 and it ends at 0. Lagay na natin yung mga distances. So just in case, meron kang lagay natin na 400 mm. So ito yung torque diagram natin. Tapos ito ay 100 mm. This is 200 mm plus 200 mm. So ito yung ating torque diagram. There's a way for us actually to backtrack this into identifying FBD. So halimbawa, pabaliktad. Gusto nating malaman yung FBD. So sa FBD, it will kinda look like this. Na at the very end daw, sabi daw, it started at 0, then nagkaroon ka ng positive na internal torque na 50. And para mangyari yun, kailangan meron kang negative na external torque. So merong negative na external torque dito na 50 Newton meters. So yan yung nangyari within that shaft. Then after after 400 millimeters, biglang bumaba. Bumaba from 50 naging negative 40. So nagkaroon ng decrease by around 90 Newton meters, and in order for that decrease to happen, kailangan merong, so kung decrease in so parang negative na internal torque yung naidagdag, so ibig sabihin nun merong positive na external torque. So meron kang 90 Newton meters na positive external torque na apply dito. Then, after some 100 millimeters, merong 100 Newton meters. So 100 millimeters, meron tayong from negative 40, umakyat siya to 100. Ibig sabihin nun, nagkaroon ng increase yung ating internal torque by 140. That would mean na meron kang negative na external torque na 140. So meron kang negative 140. So lagay natin negative 50, tapos negative, para lang ma-illustrate natin na counterclockwise yung clockwise. So meron kang 140 dito. Then after some distance from 100, biglang nag-decrease siya to 170. Ibig sabihin nun, decrease in internal torque. That would mean na nagkaroon ng applied na external torque, and positive ito kasi decrease yung nangyari. So meron kang 170 dito. Then pagdating dito sa dulo ay meron kang nagpa-cancel out. So parang umangat yung ating internal torque. ibig sabihin nagkaroon ng increase in internal torque, that would mean na nagkaroon ka ng negative na external torque na 70 Newton meters. So ito yung magiging loading sa shaft mo, and you can verify actually by doing summation of forces na dapat magiging equal to 0 dapat lahat ito. Ay, wait. Baliktad yung ano. Ito ay positive. So dapat pag nag-sum ka ng ano rito, ng then negative yung 7. So pag nag-sum ka ng torque dito, dapat equal to 0 siya. To say na okay yung ginawa natin na torque diagram. So you can imagine na parang sabihin natin na x start is 0, tapos x end is 400. So this would entail a length of 400 millimeters. So ingat po tayo, malakas ang ulan ngayon. Yung internal torque natin ay 50. Yung J natin, maintain lang natin. So halimbawa, same lang naman yung J. Tapos same lang naman din yung G at that segment. Tapos meron ko ngayon mako-compute na phi na equal to TL over JG. So ito yung ating phi. So at each, so ganito mo i-construct yung iyong table for the angle of twist. So it is related to your torque diagram. So pwede natin gamitin. So meron kang 50 times 400. So this is about 20,000 divided. So this is 20,000 over JG. Tama ba? Parang mali ata yung ano ko 40 times 50. Tama naman, 20,000. So 20,000 20,000 over J. Then gawin din natin, so x start is 400, x end is 500, yung length na ito ay 100, yung internal torque niya ay negative 40, tapos yung JG natin ay same pa din. So meron kang negative 40 times 100. So meron kang negative 4,000 J over G as your angle of twist at that segment. Tapos isa pa, gawin natin from 500 to 700. Yung length na ito ay 200, yung internal torque natin ay 100, yung J natin ay same pa din, G pa rin natin ay same pa rin. So i-compute lang natin. So meron kang 20,000 ulit. So 20,000 JG. Then lastly, meron kang 700 to 900. This is negative, this is 200 millimeters. The negative 70 internal torque mo, same pa rin yung J, same pa rin yung ating G. So meron tayo dito na negative 14,000 J over G. Now, if balikan natin yung ating figure na tas na-determine natin na halimbawa ay fixed siya kay point A. So yung angle of twist natin at point A, rotation na to ay equal to 0. So if pinapahanap sa atin ay so this is point A, point B, point C, point D, point E. So pinapakuha sa atin si point E, we simply add. So meron kang yan. So, meron ka nito, meron ka nito, meron ka nito, tapos meron ka nito. So i-add mo lang lahat. And meron tayo na 22,000. So meron kang, so ito ay meron kang 0 plus 22,000 J over G. So ma-identify mo ngayon ay angle of twist mo ay equal to 22,000 J over G. So ganito lang naman yung ating problem. Pero if in case na halimbawa lang naman na meron tayong unknown. So halimbawa ay indeterminate siya na meron kang fixed tapos fixed din dito. So, mangyari lang, so gawin pa rin natin nakapareho. So, meron kang 90 dito, tapos meron kang negative 140 dito, tapos meron kang 170 dito. So, example, same shaft, pero ganito yung loading natin. You can draw yung FBD. It will kinda look like this. So, ito yung iyong external torques natin, TA at saka TE. However, syempre, kulang yung ating equations. So, this will be an indeterminate system. So, kapag nag-sum tayo ng torque to be equal to 0, so meron kang TA, meron kang TE, tapos meron kang 90, tapos meron kang, wait, mali yung sulat ko ng 140. So, meron tayong negative 140 dito. So, meron kang negative 140, tapos meron kang 170 is equals to 0. So, wala tayo actually makukuha pa na information sa ganito. What we can do is try to at least represent si TA kasi dun magsisimula yung ating torque diagram. So, meron kang TA is equals to negative 120 plus TE. Minus TE, sorry. So, minus TE. So, ayan yung value ni TA. Then, you can make yung inyong torque diagram once na nakuha nyo na. Pero kunwari ay nandyan lang, dumadagdag lang si TE. So, kung external torque to na 120 minus TE, so internally, this is 120 plus TE. So, this is external torque. Internal torque yung pinapakuha in our internal torque diagram. Then, after some distance, meron kang positive na external torque na 190, ay na 90. And since positive siya, internally, magiging decrease siya by 90. So, mababawasan siya ng 90 dito. So, ito ay magiging 30 plus TE. And then, we continue on. Sabi daw, biglang after nito, aangat. So, from 30, nadagdagan daw, kasi negative yung external torque, yung 30 plus TE nadagdagan daw ng 140. So this will be 170 plus TE. Then as we continue on, meron kang external torque na 170. So this would result in TE na lang. So pagdating doon sa pinakadulo, since positive yung TE natin, positive yung external torque, so in-anticipate natin na magiging decrease ng internal torque ito. So dapat magsasara siya ng ganito. We can do the same. So pwede natin makuha yung angle of twist nito. So this will be equal to 120 plus TE times 400. Yun yung length natin dito. 400 over JG. Ito yung from B to A. Gawin din natin yung from C to B. So meron tayong 30 plus TE times so meron tayong 100 divided by JG. So meron tayong C from D to C. So meron tayong 170 plus TE na internal torque times yung length niya, yung length is 200 divided by JG. Then lastly, meron tayong from E to D na TE times 200 over JG. So ito yung mga internal torque natin. But knowing yung natin na si theta A is phi of A is equals to 0 tas phi of E is equals to 0 din. So dapat kung babalikan natin to, yung sum nung Yung sum ng mga to, C with respect to B, tapos D with respect to C, E with respect to D, ay dapat equal to 0. So, ibig sabihin, pag-add lang natin, so meron kang 120 plus TE times 400 over JG. So, meron kang 30 plus TE times 100 over JG. Tapos meron ka pang 170 plus TE times 200 over JG. Tapos meron ka pang TE times 200 over JG. We can factor out yung JG. Multiply natin both sides by JG. Since 0 naman yung nasa right-hand side, so kahit may left-hand side, i-multiply mo yung JG dyan, wala naman tayong problema. So meron kang 400 times 120, 48,000 plus 400 TE. Ito naman ay meron kang 3,000 plus 100 TE. Ito naman, meron tayong 34,000 plus 200 TE. Tapos meron tayong 200 TE dito. Itong lahat ay equal to 0. So ilipat lang natin lahat. So meron kang 48,000 plus 3,000 plus 34,000. So yung nasa left-hand side is negative 85,000. Then meron ka ritong 400 plus 100 plus 200 plus 200. So meron kang 900 dito, 900 TE. Divide mo lang both sides by 900. We'll get TE is equals to 94.44, negative 94.44. Ano nga ito? 94.44 Newton meters. Tapos kapag nakuha mo na yan, balikan natin to. So meron kang 120 plus minus negative 94.44. So i-minus mo siya sa 120. So meron tayong 25.55. So this is negative din. Negative 25.55 Newton meters. So that's how you'll be able to solve even yung indeterminate natin na torque. So again, step-by-step procedure, similar din naman siya. Pero pwede nating balikan ngayon, once na na-resolve mo na yung indeterminacy, halimbawa dito, you can redo your internal torque diagram with the known values ng TE, and after magawa mo yon, you can identify kung saan maximum yung internal torque, kasi dito magiging crucial ito, just in case na ipahanap sa atin saan yung maximum na shear stress. Halimbawa, binigyan tayo na sabi, si shaft daw, itong shear stress lang yung kaya. So, with this following relationship right here, knowing yung cross-section, ma-identify mo ngayon ano yung torque allowable natin. So meaning, hanapin lang na, kapag na-identify mo na yung torque allowable natin, pwede mo nang maibalik kung ano yung missing natin na external torque na values. Questions. Ayan, may nagtanong agad. Sir, question po. Di ko po ata na-pick up yung basis ng signs ng torque. Yung pong may counterclockwise and clockwise po pala. Yes, kapag clockwise, negative. Kapag counterclockwise, positive. But we are assuming na if we're going to use yung ating right-hand rule, dapat yung thumb natin should be pointing towards the right para masabi natin na counterclockwise yung ating torque. Kapag clockwise naman, dapat pointing towards the left. Kaya nire-represent lang natin sa ating illustration ng ating torque na halimbawa kapag going to the right, yung ating torque vector that would represent na counterclockwise yung ating external torque. Counterclockwise yung ating external torque. You can verify yung using right hand nyo. You should look from yung right hand nyo, try nyo na ilagay siya to your left, tapos try nyo itignan yung counterclockwise rotation from that perspective. So, ito yung ating illustration. Iyon pa, sige. Okay, mukhang na-explain na. May questions pa ba? Sa exam, may questions ba? Raise lang ng question kung merong pang hindi nagigets na concept. Yan, we're down to our open forum. Yun lang actually yung ano natin, coverage natin overall. Questions? So, again, internal forces, gets naman natin, supposedly, magse-section ka, dapat clean cut para ma-expose mo yung mga internal forces within that cut. You should, yung cut na yon should bisect yung structural system or yung structural member natin into two. Dapat isang clean na continuous cut, hindi lang yung parang nag-fillet ka lang ng konti, isang member lang yung tinanggal mo pero hindi all the way yung cut natin. And i-identify mo lang whether truss or frame yung member natin para malaman natin kung ilang internal forces yung na-expose natin within that cut. Yep. Sir, dun sa right hand side, need po ba tignan sa pinky side to determine if counterclockwise or clockwise? So sa right hand rule pala, dapat tumitingin kayo at the direction ng thumb. So parang yung right hand nyo, ilagay nyo on the left of your left eye, then sa kanyo tignan. So kung pointing to the right, dapat makikita mo na counterclockwise yung pag-curl ng kamay mo. O yung pinky side, yes. Yung pagbaba ng pinky mo. Ilang items yung exam? 10 conceptual, tas 3 problem solving na items. Tama po ba yung arbitrary yung angle ng pag-cut for internal force basta tuloy-tuloy? Yes, tama na arbitrary siya. As long as clean slice. Ano pa? Kailangan Sir, pwede po ba mag-request ng parang sample exam with answer key? I'm already trying. So, to check, sige, para lang ma-share. So, currently, yun yung aking ginagawa on the other na... So, yan, right before ng class. So, ito yung ginagawa ko. Sample ng answer key. Parang ganito. Ito yung wina-work on ko. Sige, ano pa? Kasi habol ko rin doon yung answer key ng ano nyo, ng quiz nyo. Para lang mag-gets nyo conceptually. And yung PS naman, yung PSQs naman natin, naka-post naman yung problem sets niya. So, and then pwede nyo gamitin yung answer keys doon. Any questions pa? Okay, meron pa. Sir, sa isang problem for problem solving specifically just for torque and power transmission. Torque plus power transmission siya. Yung conceptual, sir, fill in the blanks po ba siya? I believe multiple choice yung conceptual. Yan, gusto ko kayong lahat pumasa sa 102. Kailangan magtanong lang kayo. Para confident tayo going into the exam. Wala na? Sige lang, digest lang. So again, ulitin ko lang yung announcement. Saturday yung ating exam, 5:30 to 5:30 to 8 yung regular exam natin, and late exams yung i-allow, that will be 7 to 9:30. So sa may mga conflict, paki-inform na sa akin in advance by email para official yung ano, yung proof na ipapakita ko sa mga coordinators para i-allow kayo na mag-late exam. Sir, yung other two po ba is parang last is yung torque? Wala pang rooms, yes. Sir, yung other two po, if yung last is torque or power transmission, sige, meron kang stress and strain, meron kang axial force members, meron kang torque and power transmission. So, yun lang siya. Kaya niya yan. Okay? Kaya related yung torque sa power transmission kasi sa torque lang naman talaga siya magiging related. Confident na ba? Kung may mga questions huwag mahiyang magtanong even sa Facebook. Marami na nagme-message. It's okay din naman. So, I'll answer it kapag may time. Again, wala tayong pasok sa Thursday. That is your free day para enough time for you to prepare. So, para lang magnilay-nilay tayo para sa exam. Pwede din kayo magtanong habang free day natin. So, okay lang naman din yun. Tapos, yung answer sheet, ko-collectahin ko sa mismong araw. So, once na-announce dun sa UBLE kung ano yung rooms. Pero speaking of rooms pala, that confirms it pala. Theater tayo. ICE theater tayo. Nakalimutan ko na ako pala yung nagpa-reserve. ICE theater tayo sa lahat ng sections. Lahat ng sections ay nandun sa room, sa ICE theater. So, kita-kits tayo sa ICE theater sa Sabado. Questions? Going once? Going twice? Ay, mukhang, 2 hours and 30 minutes, yes. Hours and 30 minutes siya. Sige. Thank you then. Thank you all for attending today's class. Again, non-compulsory to, so hindi naman ako mag-check ng attendance. So kita-kits tayo sa Saturday. Stay safe, especially this coming Saturday. May paparating tayo na bagyo, so rain check. Prepare your raincoat, stay dry, stay safe, and stay healthy. Even though na binabatter na tayo ni ES 1. So thank you all for attending today's class.